Hey guys, and welcome back. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make these Millionaire Rice Krispie squares. Let's begin. To get started on the recipe, you'll want to grab yourself a large saucepan, and into the saucepan place your butter and your marshmallows. Feel free to use white or pink and white, whichever you can get your hands on. You'll then want to place the saucepan onto a medium-high heat and allow it to sit for around 30 seconds to a minute until the butter and the marshmallows start to melt. Then you can just continuously stir the mixture until it is all melted. It does take a little while, but don't worry, it's all worth it. You don't want to put the heat up too high, otherwise it will melt. Once your ingredients have melted and you've got them combined, you can then go ahead and optionally add in some vanilla and just mix that in until it's fully incorporated. You don't have to do this at all, but I like to add as much flavour into everything as possible. You can then go ahead and transfer your marshmallow mixture directly on top of your Rice Krispie cereal, ensuring that your bowl is large enough to mix it all in. You really do need to use a large bowl, as this does get messy. It's very sticky and it just seems to go everywhere, but don't worry, once it starts to incorporate it's very easy and comes together. You can then go ahead and grab your 8-inch square cake tin, which has been lined with some parchment paper, and place in all of that Rice Krispies mixture and just press it down into place, and so you have one flat level square of Rice Krispie treats. Once you've got this as level as possible, you can then place this into the fridge while you make the caramel, which is really super easy, but you do want the base to firm up as much as possible, so place into the fridge. To start on the caramel, you'll want to grab yourself a large saucepan and place in all of your ingredients. They don't have to go in any particular order, but I always go with the butter first, followed by the golden syrup, then the brown sugar. I'm using light, but feel free to use dark if you really want to, followed by the condensed milk, and then place on a medium-high heat, allowing the ingredients to melt and come together for a little bit first. And once they start to melt, you can then go ahead and give it all a good mix until it's fully incorporated. It doesn't take that much time, but you do want everything to be smooth. Like this, you want it to be smooth and glossy, but you don't want it to be so liquidy, so then you'll want to cook it down. And as you're cooking it down, you can add in some vanilla. Again, this is optional, but I like to add in as much flavour as possible. As you are cooking the mixture and you're stirring it, you will notice that it will thicken, and as it does, it will start to thicken very quickly. So keep your eye on it, as you don't want it to burn or catch on the bottom, which it can do if you leave it for too long. Grab your base out of the fridge and then transfer the caramel layer directly on top of that, and it will just sit there, and you may need to spread it out. But using a small offset or cranked palette knife will do this really easily, and if you haven't got one, feel free to use a palette knife or a spatula, whatever you have to hand to level it out. So for the white chocolate topping, I'm using a mixture of white chocolate spread and white chocolate pieces, and just melted that in the microwave until it was smooth and glossy, stirring in between each addition in the microwave. Once your caramel has firmed up, you can then pour this mixture on top. It might not look like you have enough, but don't worry, you have more than enough, as you'll have a generous layer which sits on top of the caramel. Once you've got all the white chocolate on top, you can then just spread it out and get as level layer as you possibly can, and then you'll just want to leave it plain if you really want to, just to keep it simple. But me being me, I like to be a bit extra, so I added some salted caramel and just used my palette knife to just swirl it all around and add a bit of a pattern, keeping it a little bit different. You may want to add more like I do, but feel free to keep it very plain and not add salted caramel on top. And just in case there's not already enough white chocolate on top, I'm adding some white chocolate chips. Again, completely optional, but I feel like if you're having a treat, you should go all out and completely spoil yourself and indulge. After a short while in the fridge, you can then go ahead and start to slice it up. This is great as it's a no-bake recipe. You do not require an oven at all, which is perfect because not everybody has access to one, and when the weather is warmer like it is currently, you don't really want to be standing over a hot oven waiting for cakes to bake, so this is the perfect alternative. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more from me, and I'll be back again very soon with some more recipes for you, so join me then. In the meanwhile, don't forget to check out the description. There'll be a link to this recipe link to my blog and link to all my social media, so don't forget to go and follow me over on them. I have been a little absent here on YouTube and on my social medias recently, but I am trying to get back into a regular posting pattern. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed. Bye guys.